I can tell when people are going to have struggles in their career or struggles in a particular job. Doesn't matter the company, doesn't matter the role, just certain characteristics and behaviors that people engage in. I can tell it's going to be a repeated issue likely throughout their career if it's not addressed. So people who have a hard time communicating with others, having difficult conversations, people who can't advocate for themselves, so that communication challenge, if you don't address that, you're going to have repeated struggles in your career. If you're the kind of person who creates stories, like you just know what's going to happen. You know that your boss is going to say this and do that, so why bother? You don't move forward and take action because you feel like you already know what's going to happen. It's going to cause a lot of struggles for you. People who have no boundaries, if you don't know how to say no in a professional setting. A lot of times the burnout is what is the result of you not having boundaries. So not always, but often, if you can't say no, you don't know when to shut down, turn things off, you get burned out, you blame your employer, you blame your boss. Really, it's just you should have said no. Those of you who match energy, you brag about that. Those of you who like absorb energy, you match vibes. This is a problem because many companies have environments that aren't very healthy with people doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So if you start to become like that as a result of being in that environment, you're going to struggle because it's not really you. It's going to stress you out, and you're not being authentic to who you are. You're actually becoming a fraud. Those of you who take things personal, going to be a problem. If you're being micromanaged and you feel like it's a result of what's wrong with you, you're going to struggle because you're being micromanaged because your boss is trash. Okay. Good leaders don't micromanage people. But if you don't know how to recognize that it's an issue that someone else is having versus like declaration of like who you are as an employee or professional, you're going to struggle. And finally, if you're the kind of person who puts a lot of energy and focus into things you can't control, you're going to struggle professionally. There are so many things that you can't do anything about. You can control how you feel. You can control how you think. You can control how you respond to others. But if you're focused on like, oh, Tanya, I want to talk to you about my boss. My boss is so terrible. Like, I can't do anything about that. And neither can you. Your boss is who they are. We can do something about how you respond, But a lot of times people, you don't want to do that work. You want to focus on the other person. So you're going to struggle. So some things to think about working on. I've had to work on many of these things, and it's made me a much better employee. It's made me a happier employee. I recommend working on some of these things so that you can have a better experience, better where you are, and better in your next role, because you are going to be you regardless of where you work.